Hi, Carlos. Nice to see that you're writing more essays. Great. Let's see what you did here. You want an item manufactured for you. Okay, so, dear sir or madam, I'm writing in reference to the production date for the Ames set of chair and table coming in red color. All right. Careful with this Careful with this expression because it's rather awkward. So, we don't say coming in red color. All right, you would simply say the production date for the Ames set of chair in red. Full stop. Okay? Now, this is also a little strange because remember what you're asking. You want them to arrange production for a new item. So here, it's as if you've already had this discussion with them and they should know what you're talking about. So, it sounds a little wrong, okay? Do you understand what it means here when it says this? A new item. So it's as if they've produced sets for you in brown before, but now you're going to ask them for something new. Hey, can you make me the Eames set, chair and table set in red? All right, so you need to phrase it in such a way that it sounds like it's a new item that they're producing, all right? So you could have said something like this. I'm writing in reference to a request for an Ames set of chairs and table in red. All right, maybe that would have helped a little bit, but I think you get my point. During the past year, the lead time that your team has consistently provided for me for this set is larger than the 30-day availability that you claim in your catalog for this year. As you may be aware, this situation creates uncertainty with our customers who do not trust our provided delivery times and therefore switching to other products in the market. We are losing sales and trust from our most loyal customers, and your team is not understanding our concern. All right, there are a couple of problems with this. First of all, I don't like this tense here. Your team is not understanding. Understand is a verb that about 95 times out of 100 should be in the present simple. But even that is a little bit of an overarching statement to say that your team does not understand our concern. So you want to soften it a little bit and say something like your team does not seem to understand our concern. That softens it. That hedges your bet a little bit more, and it's a more appropriate language. You never want to seem too absolute, okay? Now, the other problem is, again, it sounds like this is just a repeat order that you are making and not a new item. And so an examiner looking at this is going to say, okay, well, there's a lot that's nice here, but it seems to have some sort of a misunderstanding of the task, and that's going to cost you task achievement. Okay? So as you can see, Carlos, there are certain words in the task, in the prompt that show us what we're supposed to write about. Look, here it's right here. Arrange production for a new item. Okay? So, but we definitely don't get that sense. It sounds like you're just reordering an item that you've already ordered from them in the past, and that's not what you're supposed to be doing. Okay, so moving on. I kindly ask you to start an immediate new production for the set. At this point, I have already in back order 50 sets for this item with customer orders already delayed. I'll be requiring from you a total of 150 sets. Thank you for considering my request favorably. I expect to hear from you soon. Yours faithfully. All right. So, yeah, this whole thing really just proves my point. 157 words, so you're fine. You possibly could have said a little bit more. But, again, for me, the biggest problem is that you missed the key point here. Okay? What item do you need? You said it. Why do you need it? Okay, you said it. You have orders from your customers. But again, you missed this idea of production for a new item. And that's what the problem is. An examiner is not going to look at that very, very favorably. I'm not going to say that it's going to put you into like a really low zone, but it's probably not going to get you that 7 and above that you're looking for. Okay? Other than the other little things I mentioned, everything was good, but I want you to be really careful about this, okay? Let's take a look now at your task 2. All right, so let's take a look now at your essay on gap years. Let's see what you said. Experts throughout the developed and developing countries debate whether young adults should take a gap year before attending university or not. All right, that's where the or not should go at the end. This essay will argue, with examples from Mexico and research from Harvard University, why it is better to fulfill all academic requirements instead of taking a break after high school studies. All right, that's good. There is ample evidence that people who take a gap year before their university studies do not continue their academic preparation. This is largely because most of the energy and inertia that they obtain while studying is mostly lost while being at either a full or part-time job. Inertia is the wrong word here. Most of the energy they obtain while studying is lost. I don't understand this. Hold on a second. So you're saying that people who take a gap year don't continue on to university, and that's because the energy they gain while studying, which they don't gain, is lost at a job. That doesn't make a lot of sense. I think you could have made this make a little more sense if you had said the energy required for study is lost at a full-time or part-time job. I think that's the better idea here, that the energy that you need to study, they end up losing it because they're at a job. So it's not that they obtain, it's the energy, and the inertia is still the wrong word. So the energy that they require for studying is mostly lost at a job. Okay, fine. According to Harvard University research, 45% of young adults in developing countries who take a gap year do not study a major, and only 15% attend university after 5 to 7 years just to be considered for a higher position at work. All right, that doesn't make sense. Do not study a major. What does that mean? They don't go to university? I'm not really sure. It's unclear. It's a strange expression, okay? Okay. And so what does that mean? If that means that they don't go to university, you're saying that 45% of them don't go to university and only 15% go to university after 5 to 7 years. Is that correct? I think that's what you're saying. But you can see that it creates some confusion, some incoherence, and so that's the kind of thing an examiner is going to look at. So, therefore, the number of working people without university studies is growing, negatively impacting the available local talent. Why? Why do you say that? Okay, that's a strong case to make, and you may want to just add something to it. You could say that, that it's just add to it. Why do you think this is negatively impacting the community? So it is also important to note that adults without full academic preparation are not being considered for higher, better paid is spelled wrong, positions within companies. This is due to the fact that companies require people to have not major, you mean undergraduate, so or bachelor, you could have said. People to have bachelor or master's studies from most of their entry-level positions. To motivate university attendance instead of taking a gap year, some countries have launched academic programs where students combine work and study. For example, Mexico has required companies to have training programs that require entry-level positions to demonstrate that they are studying a major. You keep using this word major. Here it's okay, but elsewhere it was not. While at their part-time job. This initiative has helped in the past 10 years to increase the percentage of higher educated adults from 40% to 60%. Okay, this paragraph, while it's nice, it isn't entirely on topic. Remember that we're talking about gap years, okay? Is it better for students to work before study? You said no, it's not better for them to work before study. Let's see. I think what I would have liked here is a clearer topic sentence. I think that this paragraph could have worked if you had framed the paragraph appropriately, and you could have done that with the right topic sentence. So I'm going to take that central idea in this paragraph and then look again at this. And what is it telling us? Is it better for students to work before study? And you're saying, no, it's not better to work before studying. Okay, so what you could have said here is, rather than this full sentence, you could have said something like, while it is not advised for students to take off time to work prior to studies. Many people are finding a wonderful alternative, combining studies and work at the same time. Okay, so that's something you could have said. And then you could have maybe changed this around a little bit. You could have talked about this academic program, combining work and study, training programs, and that might have made a little more sense and would have felt more relevant. Let's see, you said it is better to fulfill all academic requirements instead of taking a break after high school. Okay, here you said no, go directly to university. Yeah, so honestly, even if you did what I'm suggesting, I'm still not sure that this paragraph is relevant. That's why you keep seeing me scroll up and down, because you had a very definite thesis statement where you said it is better to fulfill all academic requirements instead of taking a break, okay? And then here you talk about that, all right, how it's important to go straight to your university studies, all right? So then here, I don't really know what you're doing. I'm not sure why you're talking about this. The one thing that I could say is that it might have benefited you to have written a concession paragraph, okay? I don't know, I keep reading this. It just feels not appropriate to either the question or to your thesis statement where you stated your position. So I don't really agree with this, and I certainly don't agree with where it is in your essay. The reason for that is that apparently this is not the side that you were supporting. You were supporting the previous paragraph. So this is the wrong order of paragraphs. You're supposed to write the side that you support at the bottom and not first. So basically you have introduction, then you have your concession paragraph where you talk about the side that you don't support, okay? And then you have the paragraph that talks about the side that you do support, and then you go to your conclusion. So that's the appropriate order here. So that's one of the reasons why this paragraph is throwing me off, because partially it's off topic, but second of all, it's not in the right order. This isn't what you should be talking about so close to your conclusion. So close to your conclusion, you should have been saying about how you think this is not a good idea for A, B, C, D, E reasons, okay? So what I'm suggesting is get rid of this paragraph altogether, and then prior to this paragraph, okay, you could have stated maybe why there has been a push for people to take to work before study. Or you could talk about that, and then you could even refute it by saying what you think is wrong with it. So you could say that in this very competitive world, or you could say maybe, you could also do, you could, no, it says before. So yeah, just talk about how there is a push for people to get work experience because many companies don't want to hire a university graduate with no work experience. And so a lot of students are taking this time after high school to get some work experience and then go to university, but you think this is a terrible idea because of blah, 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 blah reasons, okay? So that's one thing you could have done here. So the problem with this essay, just to kind of recap, is that the order of your paragraphs doesn't really make sense. That second body paragraph, I can't wrap my head around it. I just don't see how it's helpful to your essay or helpful in answering the questions, okay? So you were fine with your grammar this time. You didn't have any of those problems with prepositions, thankfully. But this time, interestingly, you did have a problem with task achievement and with coherence and cohesion, okay? So go ahead and correct these, and let's see what you do for us the next time, okay? Good luck.